on, man.
FIFO. Fall in, fall out.
I don't even know if falling out would work. And you look pretty stupid crawling out on your hands and knees to get out of that thing. But yeah, it might be worth it. Maybe I could learn. Should I have won something like a Maserati? I got to admit, it would look good driving it.
We'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. And trade it in for a new set of clubs or something. But okay, getting back to cleaning out your clubs. You keep your grooves clean. But there's another thing too that some of us don't really think about because it's like getting in the weeds of playing golf. But your irons are also designed by physicists or by artificial intelligence, if you want to believe some of the crap you see on TV advertisement. But all of them have grooves, right? And those grooves are designed to do specific things, which is impart spin to the ball. The dimensions of those grooves, the spacing between those grooves and the depth of those grooves is not arbitrary. It's the result of some scientific engineering and testing and trial and error. So when you get one of those sharpening gizmos, that you can buy online for, $19.95 or whatever, really easy to use. You just roll it back and forth over the face of your club. You're changing that club. It may or may not work as well as the way it was designed to work originally. So I wouldn't even thought of that. Clean.
I thought it was a fairly common tool.
Yeah. Try to fix it. No, don't do it. Just keep them clean, and they do wear out. They do wear out. But again, they start to get shallower because every time you hit the ball, you got to face it. You're gonna take a little bit of that metal off, minuscule amounts, but over time, it adds up to where the depth of the grooves, the grooves are shallower than they were originally designed to be. But if you don't know exactly what that depth should be and cannot measure it accurately, then you don't know how to get back to that depth. So you can either sharpen the clubs and take your chances, or just go buy a new set. I believe the term is planned obsolescence, is it not? So.
Yes, and we're not giving away clubs.
No, we're giving away French lick.
French lick, no clubs.
No clubs. We're giving away advice because advice is free, and we can afford to give that away. But and it may or may not be worth every penny you pay for it. But you do need to be careful when you start messing with the dimensions and the depth and the face of your clubs. I mean, because like I said, you're paying $120 a piece for those things, maybe average. And excuse me, they are designed specifically to do specific things. And the reason why we have so many different kinds and different models is because the design is different on each of them, and they do different things, which is another reason why you should not buy golf clubs off the rack. Going to a big box store, going to an online store, and just ordering a set of clubs, they may or may not be what you need.
It definitely would help you to get fitted.
Yes, it definitely does. I have 14 clubs in my bag. One of them I've been fitted to. How many of those clubs do I hit well almost every time? One.
It works rather well, too.
It's the one I was fitted to. So that in itself should tell you, hey, come across with a couple extra bucks and go get fitted. And you can get fitted to the clubs you already have. You don't have to get new clubs. They can be adjusted if they need to be. All you need to do is just to go to a club fitter, and there are many of them. You can go to you can go to Dick's, you can go to Golf Galaxy, you can go to Golf Headquarters, and you can get fitted. You can go to guys like Jeff up at Timbergate or your local PGA professional. I'm sure here, Zach and the guys, they could fit you to some clubs. It's very worthwhile to go through the process of getting fit if you're serious about playing better.
Could be very well surprised what an impact it would have on your game.
Yeah, very surprised. And not only would you be surprised, but you'd find out the guys you play with on a normal basis They get real surprised, which is the most fun. You know? They go, whoa.
I can testify to that.
How'd you do that? Yeah. Yeah, but and it also gives you bragging rights, and it's fun. But again, that. Don't mess with the way the clubs are. Keep them clean. Keep the balls clean, which has been a challenge during this COVID thing because most of the golf courses took the ball washers out. Because erroneously we were told at the beginning that you didn't want to touch stuff that other people had touched. Now we find out it doesn't really matter. But a lot of people haven't put the ball washers back yet. So do what you can.
I was going to say, believe the science, but I don't want to inject any
no political biases here. But again, a little something very simple. Again, I got it last weekend out at the 3AGA Lucky Draw Challenge. They had a goodie bag, and in that goodie bag was a little spritzer bottle. You fill that bottle up with water, and you take it with you. You spray your ball when you need to, spray your club face when you need to. You don't have to worry about not having water handy, you know. So there you go.
I hope you heard that, Mark. You're supposed to put water in it.
Although we have cleaned balls with vodka before. We have in a pinch. And it works as long as you dry it off very quickly before the alcohol has a chance to start eroding the finish of the ball. But in emergency situations, you can use vodka. Beer works also. So does coffee. Yeah. Lukewarm coffee, there's really nothing to do with lukewarm coffee except use it to wash the balls. So, you sure as hell can drink it. So that's the suggestion for the day is keep your equipment clean. Look at it. Because a lot of us actually do take divots. Some of us not on purpose.
Not intentionally.
But we do take divots, and those divots not only need to be replaced on the course so the course doesn't fall apart, but they need to be removed from the face of your club. But just a towel taking mud off your club is going to leave residue. And that residue is going to fill in space on your grooves, and that residue is going to harden eventually, and it is going to affect the performance of your club. You may poo-poo it, you may say, yeah, right, whatever. Those guys, when you come off, when you go to, like the Donald Ross course at French Lick, when you come off number 18, you will find that there's a gentleman standing at your cart cleaning the clubs that are in the bag as you're walking off the green at number 18. A lot of people who are very jaded figure, they're doing that just so you'll tip them. Well, yeah, they would like to be tipped for it, but they're doing it because you need to have your clubs cleaned after a round of golf. They know you're probably not going to do it, so they're doing it for you.
It's designed to impart spin, like you said.
Yep.
If you block that.
Yep. You don't get the spin, it don't work. Hey, guys, how we doing, man? We haven't a complaint in the world yet. But then we haven't played yet, so we're still like, even. Yeah. It's the best score of the day so far is before you hit the first tee. But I did make a mistake. I started quoting Jeff. Jeff has a bit of an attitude problem when you play golf with Jeff. Jeff has a tendency to hit birdies on par fours, and most of the courses that we play start with a par four. So he will birdie a par four. He will pick up his ball. He will look at you, wink, and arrogantly say, can't birdie them all if you don't birdie the first one. Which is kind of obnoxious. But, he's right.
I wouldn't mind trying that sometime.
So playing in the 3AGA Lucky Draw Challenge on Saturday out at Chariot Run, I happened to par the first hole. And I said, you can't par them all if you don't par the first one. Everyone went, hey, that's great, yeah. I didn't get another par until number 12. 12 holes later. Yeah.
Jeff probably got a chuckle.
Yeah, he would have. So, don't say it unless you can back it up, okay? It's another one of those psychological things, like counting your score at the 14th hole and going, if I just I could break 80 if.
Far out.
You'll never do it. Nope. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. You don't count your score until the round is over. Let it be a surprise. You're not playing for anything but grins and giggles anyhow, unless you're in a tournament, and then you may be able to overcome that anyhow. But we're out at Valley View Golf Course. Wherever you may be playing today, I drove past, coming in from Shelbyville, drove past the Cardinal Club. That's not the Cardinal Club anymore, is it? It's the University of Louisville Golf Club. And it was pouring in Shelbyville at the time as I drove by, yet there was almost an inordinate number of carts out on the course there. It's usually very sparsely played. But today it seemed to be very busy this morning. So
it drains very well, too.
It does. And then, of course, if you look at the right time on 64, you can see Seneca and a number of other golf courses. Yeah. You can see where Seneca is. You know what? We got to put together someone came up with this idea, and we've been working on it. It should be coming out soon, but we're calling it the I64 Corridor, FORE, because some of the best golf courses around are right along I-64. I mean, even starting in Lexington on I-64, you've got the course at the Marriott there.
There's 2 or 3.
Yeah,
along
you've got
64 there.
Kearney Hills there. You've got and then you've got some great courses in Frankfurt, and then you come to Shelbyville, and you've got Weisinger Hills right there on 64. And of course the University of Louisville Golf Club on 64. You cross, Seneca's right there on 64. You cross over the river, Fuzzy's Covered Bridge, Valley View here on 64. You can get off and get up to French Lick from I-64 with the 3 courses up there. They got the Pete Dye course, which is the course, the public course, the number 1 public course in the state of Indiana, according to a lot of people. Links.com has just come out with that listing too.
Well worth it.
They've got the Donald Ross course there. Then they've got one that was designed by Tillinghast, I think. Another one of the early designers. And it's it's in the valley. It's a 9-hole course, but it's a challenge in and of itself. So there are 3 golf courses at French Lick to play. And then you go a little farther up 64, and you can get off and turn left and go to Christmas Lake, or turn right and go to Jasper. And what's that course we played in Jasper? That Sultan's Run. Sultan's Run in Jasper is a wonderful course. Christmas Lake Golf Course in Santa Claus, Indiana is a great golf course. And, of course, you keep going, you're going to get around close to Evansville, Indiana, and there's a lot of courses there. You got Victoria, Victoria National, right off 64 in Indiana.
Yeah, there's definitely at least 20.
And then if, you get into some of the other states headed further west and east, I'm sure there's a lot more. So we can do some exploration, but that whole idea is coming to fruition here pretty soon. The I-64 Golf Corridor, which is great. Also, one of the things that we talked about on the show this morning, and it was a tad premature because our web lady is lazy. Actually, no, she's not lazy. She's just busy. At least that's the story she tells us. She's busy. So we didn't get the web page delivered in time. But one of the things that Jeff is putting together is a day-long thing called the Golf Cave Experience. Here's how it's going to work. You're going to get your normal foursome, guys you play golf with, or you and 3 of your closest friends, or whoever. And you're going to make an appointment to spend a day at the Timbergate Golf Course in Edinburgh, Indiana. You're going to have a conversation with Jeff prior to arriving, and you're going to tell him what you would like to work on, what your main problem is. And you and the rest of the group are going to spend about 3 hours in the golf cave and outside on the practice tee at Edinburgh Timbergate Golf Course with Jeff, getting lessons specifically designed for what you have told him before arriving you want to learn how to do better, whether it be chipping or putting or driving or whatever. and then you